To Len May.
How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? Well, talking about cannabis. I'm gonna be excited. So, first off, I really want to thank the organizer of this amazing event, BCS, the great panelists that we've seen so far, and everybody who is attending this event. Give it up for yourselves. Now that I got some applause, even though this talk doesn't turn out that well, I got some applause being on stage. So, I thought to myself, everybody here is a panelist, and I was invited to speak by myself. So I'm trying to figure out what the reason behind that is. 25 plus years in the cannabis space, maybe it's had dispensaries, cultivation facilities, all the work that we've been doing in the genetic space. But I thought to myself, we were asked to send our picture in to see before we were recommended for the panel. And I sent my picture in, and I came to a realization. Music industry, picture, wait for it. They thought I was Pitbull. On a serious note, you've heard a lot of information about cannabis and the health benefits, and the panelists have been amazing. So, what I wanted to do was take the opportunity to tell my own personal story and maybe interweave some history, some other information about the endocannabinoid system, and then some of the things that we're doing today currently to try to align more personalized medicine using genetics and things of that nature. So just to start off, a little bit about myself. I grew up in Philly and grew up in a pretty abusive household. One of the reasons why there was some physical and mental, emotional abuse, I had some difficulties behaving basically. So through school, I had some difficulties focusing. And the main reason behind that is that nothing was stimulating to me. So I would go to school, I would be interested in certain types of subjects, but other ones really had not much interest in, and I would start talking and acting out, things of that nature. So I would be severely punished for my behavior. Later on in life, in my teenage years, I was diagnosed with ADD. This is before there was an H. And in being diagnosed with ADD, I started to understand that the reason why I wasn't focusing is because there was something wrong with me that I couldn't focus. So the doctors started prescribing different types of medication. I started taking this medication, and it did help me to focus slightly. However, it numbed me to all resemblance of any feeling. So I would take this medicine, I could focus here and there, but I was numb. This is in the 8th, 9th grade. I had an opportunity to hang out with the older kids, and they asked me if I want to go and smoke with them. So we're just dabbling in cigarettes. I'm like, ah, cool. I have a cigarette with my friends. So they're smoking, and they're passed me over the cigarette, and I tried it, ended up coughing, and I realized that was not a cigarette. And that was my first experience using cannabis. When I went back to class, I was able to focus, and I was able to feel. It took away all the different feelings that I got from these pharmaceutical drugs. And I started weaning myself off of those things. The only issue that I was experiencing is at home. So my parents were extremely against cannabis. My dad actually believed that marijuana came from the poppy plant, and it was the same thing as opium. So I would get severely punished for using cannabis, which would make me angry, which would make me try to use more cannabis, was just a vicious cycle. It wasn't working for anybody. It wasn't working for me and my parents. So at some point, when I was about 17 years old, my parents decided to call the cops. And after I had a conversation with the police officers that came through and basically told them that anything under 28 grams is a misdemeanor, I'm underage, if you lock me up, I'll basically sign myself out, you'll do a bunch of paperwork. My parents asked me to leave. So I had maybe about a few $100s in my pocket, I had a car, I ended up kind of couch surfing for a little while, but after some time I got a job working at Tower Records. So I started college, working my way through college, working at Tower Records as cashier, and got promoted to be a music buyer for Tower Records at some point. So to fast forward, I was attending a music festival. It was called the Horde Music Festival, and the headliners were the Black Crowes, Ziggy Marley, Blues Traveler. And there was a group of people, and there was young kids, and they were signing people up to register to vote. And they had CAN, C-A-N. So I'm like, Canada, Canadian, I don't understand. So I walk up to them, what are you guys doing? Like, we're registering people to vote. Like, what's your organization? They said a Cannabis Action Network. So that's pretty interesting. So